How do you do? Welcome. I am Cammy Cam of Cammy Cam Comics, bringing to you live comic book making tips, strategies, and you're just joining me on my comic book making journey. So, let's recap. So we have comic book making club where we're going through the steps, sorry, mouth typo, of making an actual comic. And there's so many different parts of it. But here's the, I guess we'll say upsetting news, is that I recently found out you don't even want to make a comic. You don't want to do it. You want to know why you don't want to do it? Because it's hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of tears. It's a lot of staying up to 3 a.m. listening to focus music that might put you to sleep and having that night coffee. Or believe in yourself. I really didn't have a direction when I started this video. I was going to talk about more comic book making tips, but I myself haven't even finished my comic because let's get into it. Let's have a real conversation. It's the unbelief of, can I even do this? So we look at comic books. We've got a lot of different options. We've got our traditional floppies. We've got graphic novels. We've got webcomics. And where I see myself, originally, I wanted to be that comic book artist, okay? I want to be in the comic book stores. I want to have the 20-page floppies. I want to have the issues, the volumes, and all of those things, all of the things. But truth be told, I'm not going to do that. I've seen within recent time, or just within the past couple of weeks, as I'm still trying to produce more comic book making club, which is a club, segue, which is a club where we're building community, we're talking about our comic book making process, or making whatever type of comic format, but I'm trying to focus more on actually getting it done, because this is where so many writers and artists struggle, getting it done, showing up, being present. So I have my script. I did my outline. I have Pug and Cat right here in my hands. And in my other hand, I have it. So what I've been doing the last couple of days is trying to figure out, do I want to establish this as a 12-page floppy and hope that it can get crowdfunded and I can make some money and people can love it? It's like, when's book 2 coming out? Or make a webcomic. Both options are great. But if I'm basing it off of like the only fan base I have, which is between YouTube and my other social media platforms, Threads, TikTok, it's really dicey. Okay, we're teeter-totting on the whole slice of life, what the heck is going on. And for that, I just am transitioning into making this a webcomic, because I don't want to have a Kickstarter that drags out for 10 volumes, 10 issues. Because from what I've seen, a lot of the floppy books, you get maybe 5, 6 issues of the floppy. And those are like the big names, you know, the DCs, the Batmans, the Supermans, the Spider-Mans, all of the mans, and the womans too, and the they thems, everybody. But what I like graphic novels. I like reading from cover to cover, the whole story into one. And that's what I'm going to do. So Pug and Cat is about to become a webcomic. Yay! And one thing I'm working on doing differently this time is batching all of my work. Now, here are my struggles, okay? Struggle time. I don't know, I heard a basketball announcer say we're on a struggle bus, and it's just been uncomfortable. It's a really cringe word, and when it's cringy or crunchy, I tend to overuse it, so I apologize. But let's call it a challenge. One of the challenges I've had in the past is being consistent with my comics, and there's this awesome YouTuber, Graham McKay. You should follow their channel. I have so many tips, daily videos on making comics, but we're batching work, okay? So step 1 in batching your work, because this was my struggle. Oh wait, we're still in our challenges. So not being consistent with my uploads. Then because life got in the way, I didn't feel like it. I got bored easily. Challenge number 2 would be marketing. You got to talk about it. If you're not talking about it, you're kind of missing your audience. And then I guess if I had to throw in another one, it would be high expectations. When you first make a comic, it's not gonna be guaranteed the instant success on the main page. But all these challenges can be overcome. Number 1, we're batching our work. So I'm planning to do all of my penciling, then do my lines, and once all that's done for the first chapter, I'm gonna have it released either bi-weekly or weekly. Now I'm trying to balance out like how many pages per week. So it might be 1 page a week. It might be 2. I'm thinking I might go with 3. I like 3s. Okay, I got 3 kids, so 3 and 3, it's a thing. 3, the magic number. And so with the 3s of the pages, we're also going to be adding in, then, we go to the next episode and the next episode. And with my first book or first chapter, it's 20 pages. So we're getting 20 divided by 3. We got about 6 episodes. So that gives me either 6 weeks or 12 weeks of Pug and Cat once this is done. And I'm already on page 9. My goal today was 10, so I've got 1.5 page to go. I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited. And then we bring it back in. So batching my work, I'm gonna do all of my stuff first and then release. So once I finish all of these 20 pages, or maybe 10, we'll see. I'm hoping to do the 20, that way I can be committed and consistent. But once those pages are done, and they're preparations to be released as actual comic episodes, I'm gonna jump into working on other projects. Because when I tell you I got comic ideas on days, I got comic ideas for days. So that way, okay, I've done that. Take a break once it's like releasing without me touching it, because you can do that. You can put it up and it just do its own thing. Automation, ching ching, money, I don't know, robot automation. Anyways, so once that's done, then I can work on like my first webcomic, Snack Time. I can reprise Noodle Kid, which I've been wanting to do. I can just jump into a whole lot of other projects that I wanted to do and I haven't been able to do. And then, like I said, once each one is done, I can move on. I can do more. We can get print editions. But I have fans and they're waiting on another book. They are waiting on another book tomorrow. So I've got some ideas. I have some things that I started and I didn't finish. So let's talk about that. I'm trying to make another video, trying to do more videos. So this is like, we're comic book vlogging, this is what we do. Sip beverage that I misplaced behind my head. Stares into the abyss of my mind, looking for the focus that I was on. Yes, comic book making. Turning Pug and Cat into a webcomic. The other books! Yes, thank you! High five! Don't slap your phone. So the other books, I have a guided journal and I just have to finish the art for. And that's been a struggle because I don't know the composition. Because the art part, so I've got 2 art parts. The cover and the added coloring sheets, because I see that I've used guided journals and I'm like, oh, they're fun, they're prompts, they're like, how's your day, what's your favorite color, yada yada yada. And I want to add coloring sheets to mine because I am an artist and I think that would be great. And I'm hoping, my biggest goal with the guided journal is that other people, it's kind of female focused, but you can get it too, fellas, or they thems, and it would be great to just release it, have that available, say, hey, I did it, because I created the Stardust Warriors. Those are the theme. They're inside the book. And I also want to make a comic or even like a one-shot. That's a whole nother topic for another time, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway since we already brought it up. I want to release an anthology of these one-shot comic ideas, so that way I can say, okay, I made this a comic, I made this a comic. And then later on in life, when I'm finally a wealthy comic book mogul, I can be like, oh, you remember that part from the anthology? Now it's its own standalone series. Because that happens. So I'm looking forward to that because I still have comic book ideas for days. Like when I tell you I got comic book ideas for days, I got comic book ideas for days. But Puck and Cat's about to be a webcomic. We're gonna finish the pages. That's like really where I keep coming back to. And I'm nervous about it, but I'm also excited. So steps we gotta do, we've gotta finish penciling, then we gotta get into inking and coloring. Once all the art is done, then we have our add-ons like our cover, our yeah, that's really it. Then it's like the cover. The cover should have came first. I actually have a cover. Well, you need multiple covers for thumbnails. Where am I gonna post it? Ugh, where am I gonna post it? Where do you read comics? Because would you post your comics? Type in the comments, where do you read your webcomics? And we'll go from there. Who's ever the most popular, the cutest, the prettiest? What do you like about that webcomic platform? So for me, my main squeeze is Webtoon. Webtoon was my first, well, not really. Webtoon's my second love. My first love, Smack Jeeves, and I don't even know if they exist anymore. But I read those in high school, so I'm old. I'm not old. I'm aging gracefully. I am a beautiful raisinette. So we have Smack Cheese, then Webtoons, we have Tapas, we have Global Comics, we have indie things, we also have personal websites. I have Ko-fi. So they're like a bucket load, okay, of different places where you can host webcomics. But I am going to start with Webtoon for myself, I'm thinking, because I already have stuff on Webtoon. I do also have stuff on Tapas, but that is under a different email because I changed my branding. So that's a Cameron problem for a Cameron. Yes. So I'm excited. This is a good thing. This is a good place to transition. Because I could start the Kickstarter and I don't want to hurt my feelings by thinking I'm about to make lots of money from a Kickstarter and I don't even know the details and work. Because when I tell you these other indie creators, they be working. Honey, they be working. I mean, you got bundles, you got deals, you got stuff. And then some of these, I'm like, this story is amazing. And yes, they get fulfilled, but then it's like the stretch goals and then it's like advertising. What is your budget? Is the definition of a successful Kickstarter campaign. And that's your money budget and your time budget. What does that look like? So first, we're doing the webcomic to build a fan base for Puck and Cat because I keep talking about it, but nobody's seeing it. Okay? I'm not dropping arts, I'm not dropping clips, but I will start to do that more as we get close. What's the deadline? Deadline, time frame, I don't know yet. But we'll make another video for another time, and until then, stay tuned, stay blessed. I love y'all. Bye.